thank you to everybody who is showing up again. This will be episode 2 of a knitting podcast. Thank you also to all the newcomers that may be here. Last week sorry, my cats are running around if you can hear that. They just had breakfast and now they're crazy. I'm sorry. Anyway, so last week I showed you some of the things that I had been working on. Also, I showed my finished object from episode 1. I'm actually wearing it today. This is my cabled sweater. I'll try and show you a better picture of it on. So yeah, this is how it's fitting. Yeah. There's a little bit of ease. I would say maybe half an inch to an inch on the arms. It's pretty wearable. It's not a glove. I don't feel like my arms are in a sausage casing. I tried to give myself a good amount of ease where it's kind of fitted but not oversized, because I did want more of a flattering kind of shape to it. For my body type anyway, I wanted it. That's why I designed this, is mostly just for me. I just wanted something that fit me perfectly. Also, I just absolutely love the details from this motif. I love the baubles. Actually, I don't think I explained this in the first episode that I put out last week. I actually did all of these baubles with a crochet hook. So, and it's kind of hard to explain, but I think I did three double crochets into the stitch, and then I pulled the strand. There's Miss Luna. She's gracing us with her presence today. Hey. I think she has her sights on Lily down the hallway. Anyway, so I did about 3 double crochets into a stitch, and then I pulled the working strand through all 3 of those crocheted loops. And then I kind of twisted it around the bauble itself before I pulled it to the back of my knitting needles, slipped the stitch back onto the right hand, and then continued working. It's kind of an ordeal. I may put up a little video if any of y'all are interested. There may already be videos on YouTube of how to do this. I just kind of did it myself. I don't know if I created something or if other people do this, but it really helped those baubles pop. I haven't had to do a thing else to them. This is after soaking and blocking. They're really, I'm trying to get this into a position. They're really pronounced, I guess. They really show off well. But yeah, so that's how the sweater is wearing. Here's the bottom of it. Yeah, it's not super tight. The hem down here I did in the same needle that I worked the body with that I spoke about last week. And then the collar and cuff ribbing I did on a US 1. So I did it a little bit smaller size just so I could have it a little bit tighter around those areas. But since I'm someone with wider hips than up top, I wanted something a little bit more stretchy down there. But yeah, sorry, the kitties are in the room today. Hopefully they calm down in a bit. Also, last week I forgot to show off another finished object that I had finished. Sorry. So yeah, another finished project that I had finished. It was for my fiance. So yeah, this is a sweater that I made for him. And I actually have the pattern book right here that I used. So this is Free Spirit Knits by Anne Poldesak. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. If you know, please let me know. I probably butchered that. But there's beautiful patterns in here. Like, I've actually made one of these. This is a beautiful cardigan. I believe it's made with Brooklyn tweed, but it has a beautiful lace panel that you obviously see if I show it again. On the front by the button bands, on the sleeves as well, and also on the back if you look through the pictures. It's absolutely beautiful. Oh my god, it was such a joy to make. I made that years and years ago, like, I want to say 2013, 12, something like that. I also used a Madeline Tosh yarn. I'm not too happy with how it turned out because of the pooling that happened. Oh my gosh, like I don't wear it because the top half is a lighter, like, mustardy golden yellow, and then the bottom is more of a burnt toasted version, like dark sunflower. So it just, I don't wear it. I'm thinking of frogging it. I would like to make another one. But back to the sweater I made for Brad. It's a beautiful sweater. I absolutely love it. So it's called the Brimstone Gulch sweater. And here's the model picture. This is actually made up in Rowan felted tweed, and that's what I used for Brad's as well. But I did his in slightly different colors. So the yoke has these beautiful bands of color work. And so like on this one, they have like a lighter blue in here. It's kind of hard to see in this lighting, but there's a lighter blue in there, and then the body color is a darker blue. I ended up using a gray and more of a turquoise blue in here. But other than that, the green, yellow, and the orange are all the same. It is oversized. I wanted to make it that way for him. I wanted it to be kind of a sweater he can throw on and have room in, like his hoodies. As you can see, it just like, it's a very cozy sweater. But yeah, I really like it. It's beautiful. Also, some of the little details, which this was a modification that I made. I don't want to say too much about the pattern, but you can honestly see the modification if you looked at the photo. It is a rolled brim or a rolled neckline, and I did a folded over neckline. So on the front I did gray, and then on the inside I used up some more of that dark blue. And that detail is also on the cuffs, and also on the bottom hem. But all of those things you can see within the picture. That's actually shown on. So it's a beautiful feature. I'm not going to talk too much about, obviously, construction or anything like that. But the color work was beautiful. I'll show you some of my floats. I can turn it inside out real fast. I think the floats turned out magnificently gorgeous. I don't like to toot my own horn too much, but I feel like I did a really good job with these floats. Yeah, check out those bad boys. Absolutely beautiful, I think. Yeah, so that's the inside. I know some people like to see what floats look like. Yeah, nothing too complicated about it. I would say if you're looking for something that's kind of introducing yourself to color work, or maybe you've tried mosaic color work knitting and you want something a little bit, I don't want to say harder or more challenging, but something, just something else, I would suggest a pattern like this, or even this one if you wanted to give it a go. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I also made this out of the Rowan felted tweed. I don't know if I mentioned that before. A lot of the information about this sweater is on my Ravelry, so you can find that at Live in Stitches, my profile page on there. It's under projects. If you just scroll down through there, you'll find it with all of the colors. I believe that there's like a color name and then a number with some of them, the needles that I used on it, and then there's a direct link to the pattern. I'm not sure if it's available online or not, but again, if you did want to look at these beautiful, like there are some beautiful patterns in this book that I would love to make. Like the next one I would, honestly, it's had my eye for a while, would be this one. It's called the Three Sisters Shawl. It's a big, beautiful shawl. Oh my gosh. It is gorgeous. And unfortunately, some of the other pictures of it have like, I may be able to show this one. I don't want to show any of the charts, but look at how beautiful that work is. Oh, absolutely beautiful. And the inspiration behind all of Anne's patterns are derived from the Southwest. So they're inspired by Southwest here in America, and that just holds a soft spot in my heart. I know Brad is from New Mexico, so Southwest, and I've just always loved the Southwest. I love the red rocks, just absolutely gorgeous. So give that a look-see on Amazon. I know that's where I bought my book. So it's, again, Free Spirit Knits. It's a beautiful book. Get on, check it out. But yeah, other than that, let's get into some of the things I'm working on right now. Do something and then come back to it. But yeah, I'm sorry. Oh, there's some fuzz. Also, if you haven't noticed, I am done up today. Last week, y'all saw me on honestly a normal day. Normally I look like I did in episode 1. I'm normally cleaning. I'm getting ready to go and do a workout or run errands or running after the girls. And today I wanted to look kind of nice. I was going to present my sweater and I wanted to, I don't know, do something with all of this mane of hair of mine and just look kind of nice for y'all. So anyway, other than that, whips. And I'm sorry if you hear my cats, like Lily is literally down the hall attacking the rug. Silly. Anyway, so my temperature blanket that I mentioned last week, it is coming along quite nicely. So far, this past week is documented in the rows, and I don't think I mentioned last week that the temperature ranges that I showed in my book, so right here, all of these temperatures are a range. Obviously, it's like 21 degrees to 32 degrees for the teal blue. So it's not going to be a precise like temperature in a color that way. Like it won't be like a color for 21 degrees Fahrenheit. Oh, there's a different color for 22 degrees Fahrenheit. It's just a range. And also I'm taking the high temperature of the day. I don't think I mentioned that last week. I do know others that are making a temperature blanket. They go with the lows of the day or the average temperature of the day. I'm just going to do the high. It's easy enough for me in the morning whenever I'm having my coffee to just get on my phone and scroll over to the weather app and see what the high is and put that little crochet row in. So anyway, for March, we've had some pretty, it's been mostly the same colors. It's been my green apple, so the one that I currently have attached. And I talk about this yarn in last week's episode. It's just the Pearl Bee Soft and Sleek, and this is in the color green apple. It's like a worsted weight. It's like just a typical acrylic worsted weight yarn. It's very affordable. That's what I absolutely do love about it. I think I may have one with an actual price on it. Yeah, so here's the white one that I have, and it's $3.99 a skein. So if you're thinking of doing a temperature blanket, which is throughout the year, I do know that this is my second skein and I just attached it. I may have to get another one or two, and with all of my colors, I did get 2 skeins of yarn, and I think altogether it was about $70, and I think I documented that on my Ravelry account too, which you can find this project on, or documentation of how I'm doing the project. You can probably get on there and look at everybody else's temperature blankets as well. But just that said, I know that this could be an expensive project for some. That's why I went with an acrylic yarn myself. I am very budget conscious. I'm constantly budgeting, especially with groceries, things like that, even though I do live in a more, affordable situation. I do like to be mindful about things like this. And so even though my heart would love to knit with 100% wool and silks and all of that good fiber all the time, but for certain projects such as this blanket, it is going to be an acrylic, especially since already like 22 skeins was $70 if I used like an actual hand-dyed yarn or so. $100 to $1,000 for a project of this size, I just cannot afford that. So you just kind of have to pick your battles in a way. Like if you can afford better yarn for a project like this, do it. I support it. That is fabulous. For me, I'm just gonna be humble about it and get what I can afford and what's gonna benefit me in the situation. And honestly, the yarn is very buttery. When they say soft and sleek, it is very soft and sleek. It is very squishy. But here's my week from the last episode. So this marker represents March 1st. And then we're just going up. And this is actually today's color. But yeah, it is turning out quite nice. And see how it started. This is so exciting for me because so far it's been kind of, I don't want to say sporadic, but it has been quite a little bit patterny. Like I'll have some really, really cold days, like here in the beginning of January. It was very sub-zero temps for a while. Like we had negative 20 degrees Fahrenheit for a high couple of days. But yeah, all these green apple days, they're beautiful. They just kind of pop in there. And now with spring coming here, I think it's March 20th, coming up real soon. It's actually starting to get a bit warmer, which I'm so excited, y'all. Oh my goodness. I'll tell you what, honestly, going back to my book, I am so excited to knit with like this mustard color right here. And this pumpkin spice, I think is the color name of it. Oh my gosh, I want those warmer colors so bad. I'm so jealous of my mom. She's already starting to knit with the darker greens. And I think she has like some more oranges than I do, but she's in Texas, so it's gonna be warmer. I'm just excited. And also, she's told me that in May, or like late May, June time, she's gonna come up and visit me. So yeah, I'm excited. We're gonna have some matching stripes on our blankets, which I'll be able to look back on and just remember all of those good days that we had together. And also another thing I recently have been thinking of is how special this blanket is going to be for me. I never really fully thought about it when I actually started crocheting this, of how I'm going to be getting married this year to the love of my life. He is such a good man. But it's going to be really sweet because this blanket will remind me that we got married this year in 2022. And these are going to be every single day we spent together during our year that we got married. All the temperatures, I'll be able to pick it up and look back on it and just remember all of that during this year. Anyway, enough about that blanket. It is definitely going to be quite big. I actually just measured it maybe, was it last week? Like end of last week, Friday? I think it was Friday. My mom asked me how long mine is getting, and I think I got 13 inches at that time, or a little bit more. And whenever I did the math on it, it's at the end of the year, it's gonna be like 6 feet 5 inches or so. So it's gonna be plenty long. It'll be like a little over a foot taller than me. So that's some fun stuff. Also, I mentioned socks last week, and I actually have a pair on the go that I didn't show in my works in progress last week. I'm also not going to be showing my half and half shawl this week. That I haven't been working on it. I do plan on working on it once I get a couple of socks done. So I'm probably not going to be working on that until I'd say later summer this year, because I do have some spring knits that I'll be talking about here probably in a week or two. So, sorry, Lily stepping on my laptop. Anyway, so these are some socks that I got, or some skeins that I got from Knit Picks. And I actually have a lot of these projects I actually have on my Ravelry. So if you want to be able to actually look at the color number and everything like that, just go on over there. And you'll be able to look at my projects and see these. But yeah, it's the Fingering Weight Felici self-striping yarn from Knit Picks. So here's these ones. So this one's in the color Rustic Cabin. I don't know if you can see it very well in this lighting, because once I get closer, it gets very warm. But I would say it's about right there, maybe. It's still coming off a little wonky, but it's a beautiful color. It really is. You have beautiful mustard, and you have this beautiful orangey color, some dark red, you have kind of a beige in there, and then a light blue here, which you can't really see because of the lighting. But I got 2 skeins. These ones are going to be for my fiance Brad. And I also bought 2 other skeins, so they don't have a ball band on them anymore. It's in the color Palm Springs though. Here's a little remnant from this one that I still have on the go. So here's my sock so far. And I do know other people have noticed that there's always in these skeins going to be 2 colors that are very similar, and honestly it's showing up pretty nicely on here where you can kind of see the difference. In person it's very hard unless you're in natural light. But I could not help myself with this color, y'all. Oh my goodness, it is gorgeous. I love all of these stripes, and oh my goodness. And so this is something I have started doing. I know other people that are avid sock knitters as well do this too. There's also sock knitters that are very scientific about it. It is down to the row and stitch. I'm a little bit more just go with the flow. I'm a Pisces though, so I tend to go that way. I tend to do that. Go with the flow of the stream. Just go with it. But I am trying with these, because they are self-striping, to kind of mark how many rows it took me to get to where I need to start decreasing for my toe. So I haven't finished this one because I'm working on my second one over here on my little, sorry, my finger just got caught on my Qiaogu needles. And like I said last week, I have my longer tip on this side on my interchangeable, and then my shorter one on the left hand. So I like to knit with the long one because I'm a continental knitter, so I know this may be reversed to you, but this is my left hand. I tension my yarn by wrapping it around my finger, going under the ring and middle finger, up and over the index finger with my left hand, and I like to knit to pick with my right hand. And so just to get that little bit more support on there to fit my pinky finger so it's not hooked down here, putting pressure at a weird joint, I just put that longer needle on there. It makes it way more comfortable. But anyway, I'm starting the second sock. That way, whenever I get to my last little attachment, or not attachment, but my last row of my foot, I can actually do both of the toes at the same time and finish them. So this one's just going to be hanging out for a while. I did a 64 stitch count. That's what I tend to do. That's my go-to stitching. I also use, for me, I use a size 2 US. It just tends to work out that way because, again, I am a pretty darn tight knitter, and I've tried knitting with like the 1s and 0s, but when I do, it is really hard to get my socks on, even if I do a German twisted cast on and really pay attention to making sure that my stitching, you know, a little bit looser. I just go with the size 2 and it works for me. But definitely swatch, gauge, gauge, gauge. Oh my goodness, I cannot shout that enough, I feel like, because when I first started knitting socks, I just did what the pattern told me. I even forgot what, I think it was like a basic vanilla sock, but I bought the opal sock yarn, which I love opal sock yarn, but I just casted it on. I think that they actually called for a size 3 US. So I think it was a heavier, one of the heavier opal sock yarns that you can get. But I went at it and I was knitting away, and it was like the size for an elephant. I use it as a good, I just kept going even though it was very large. Like it literally was like a stocking you hang during Christmas time. But I just went through it just so I could learn the techniques for socks, like how to do a heel flap, how to do a heel turn and the gusset, and how to do the toe and things like that. And it really was nice. I actually think I have it here. This is the sock book that I bought myself after that pattern. That it has helped me so much. And there's actually 2 books I would like to show. Okay. So this is Socktopus. I don't know if any of y'all have seen this. It's by Alice Yu. I think I pronounced that right. If not, I'm sorry. Beautiful book. But she actually has, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to show it because it is a pattern, but she does give great information about different fibers. So I'll just show it very briefly. Just different fibers. I'll show the pictures of the sheep. It just tells you about like what fibers would be better for socks, which would not be. It goes very in depth on these matters, and it's amazing. I absolutely loved it. It taught me a lot about socks. But she has a totally vanilla sock pattern in here. I'll show you a picture. So here's the model wearing the socks, and here's just basic socks. Vanilla sock pattern. So in here, she actually helps you find the appropriate measurements and gauge for your own specific foot. I cannot show you anything because it is copyrighted, but I would say with this, if you were looking for the most perfect fitting sock for you specifically, instead of following, I mean, I don't want to say follow, like don't follow other people's sock patterns, because there are beautiful sock patterns, please follow them. But if you start with this, I feel like you would have a better understanding of what's going to fit your foot specifically, instead of going through the whole process of knitting a sock that you find with a pattern in it and it not fit properly, and then you don't either finish the second sock or you don't wear the items that you made. Again, this goes into the budget conscious side of me, where if I'm spending money on sock yarn, and some sock yarns can be quite expensive, I want to make sure that I actually enjoy the products that I make, especially because the hours making them, yeah, I want to make sure I like it. So I cannot recommend this book enough. There are beautiful patterns in here. Oh my goodness, I've actually made quite a bit of the socks out of this book. Oh my goodness, I absolutely love this book. Absolutely love it. Cannot recommend it enough. Again, I am not sponsored by anybody. These are things that I've bought with my own money. This is so old, the spine is breaking down. Anyway, check it out. Again, Socktopus. You can find this on Amazon too. Yeah, give it a go. Try it out. At least get on and look at it. I know with like on Amazon, you can actually kind of flip through some of the pages a little bit sometimes, depending on the seller on there. And you can kind of get an idea of what's in there. You can also get on Ravelry and type in that book name. It may be on there. You can check out some of the patterns. I'm not sure. I haven't done that myself to see if they sell them individually, but the book should be on there for you to at least kind of see what patterns are in there. Another book I would recommend is this one. It's the Sock Knitter's Handbook. I don't know if any of y'all have seen this before, but it is a great book if you are looking for ways to build your own socks. So like if you're actually wanting to design socks, it gives you great knowledge of construction and different, you know, heel types, cuff types, some different stitch patterns, things of that nature. There's not too much for me to be able to show in or out of this book other than the cover, just because a lot of the pictures have the instructions along with them. But it is a great book. I would definitely suggest this one if you don't have this. It's a nice little addition to your toolbox, I would say. So give this a go if you're not necessarily a visual learner, and you need something kind of hands-on and being able to read it. There's that. Anyway, so these are my socks that I'm working on. A big pile. Anyway, and then after I finish those, I'd like to make up Brad's. And once I'm done with those socks, I will start on the half and half shawl again, because it needs some love. So those are what's been going on. Okay, sorry about that. Thank you. But yeah, actually, before I show you and tell you about the packages that I received, I almost forgot about my boho blush shawl. I'm actually in mid-row, so I can't show you a full like wingspan, but I did find some of my older interchangeable needles from Knitter's Pride. These are just like oh gosh, I forgot exactly what they're called. But they are made out of birch wood, and they have very beautiful color. I know each size, so these are the US size 4. Each of the different sizes have a different color. Like I believe like the 5s are like a golden color, 6s are a purple, but the 4s are green. I found these because I needed my longer cable because my fixed 4s that I showed last week were so tiny. I think it's a 24-inch cable that I had them on, so I found this one, which I believe is my 32 or 40. I can't remember. But anyway, it was a bigger cable. I just put the needles on and I knitted off of them. But anyway, I actually marked my spot last week. So I was right here last week, and I just knitted up here. And there we go. So it doesn't look like much progress, but I'm telling you, these rows are exhausting. It's fun. Like I do enjoy knitting on this project, especially because there are different sections. And I didn't really talk about this too much because I thought I would be doing something wrong talking about it a lot. But honestly, the things I would say about it are, one, it's a garter stitch brioche and lace sectioned shawl, and I don't think that's giving away anything. You can obviously tell that's what these are, especially in the pattern picture. I kind of wanted to say that last week, but I was a little nervous. Like, if I say this, am I going to get in trouble? But looking at the pattern pictures and looking at this, it's like anyone that knits knows what these things are. But anyway, I just finished up. Whoops, my needle caught one of those brioche stitches. So I just finished up this lace panel in here, and then I had to do a lot of garter stitch, which there are a lot of stitches on here. I won't say how many, but there are a lot of stitches. on here. It is like running a marathon. Literally, I will knit one way, turn it, and I have to catch my breath. I literally am like, Coach, I need water over here. This is a long row. Oh my gosh. But I'm finally off of the garter where it's just knit. It's nice and peaceful because I can sit there and knit, but at the same time, it's like, I need something different, which is nice about this shawl. You do get a little bit of recovery, I would say, doing these different little sections from the garter. You get a little break. So I just started some more brioche up here. I actually just did that like, I think 3 rows this morning, drinking my coffee. But she's coming along. I believe it won't be too much longer now and she'll be finished, which I think will be definitely not this week, but maybe by the end of next week. We'll see. Anyway, another thing, I don't know who I was kidding. I totally was like hyping myself up about the fact I had, you know, a little bit left over. I shouldn't need my next skein. Nope, it did not work out. I had to bust into the actual skein that I had. I don't know who I was kidding. Like, was I in the Twilight Zone or something? I don't know. But anyway, I ended up having to get my bigger skein out, which this yarn this is also Pearl Bee. I believe this yarn, it's $4.99, I think, and it's the 44th Street yarn. There's not a ton of colors in this, or in this brand from Pearl Soho, not like the Soft and Sleek. The Soft and Sleek that I use for my temperature blanket, tons of colors, tons. 44th Street though, it's only a handful or so, like there's not many. And like I said last week, this is actually from a sweater that I made, it's leftovers. So anyway, I just figure, hey, I'm a budget girl, and if I have some leftover yarn somewhere, I'm gonna try and make something out of it. And I'm really hoping to be able to use some of this yarn from the 44th Street Pearl Soho, whatever remainder I have from this project, and use it in one of those tank tops, which is one of the reasons I bought this beautiful yarn from Holsgarn. So this is their Coast yarn, and I don't know if you can really see it that well because it is like a light gray. It may show up a little different on this camera, but it is on a cone. It's 500 grams. It is in the color Putty, and this is 55% wool and 45% cotton, and it is very nice. It is very soft, and I'm really hoping with this yarn to make the sweater by Andrea Mowry, the Birch Pullover. That's the name of it. The Birch Pullover. I will try and pop in a photo over here. It is a very beautiful sweater. Hers is also in a lighter gray, and I believe it's like in a fisherman or half fisherman rib, but it's a fingering weight sweater, which I'm hoping to find gauge with this yarn because it is a very thin fingering yarn, so a light fingering. Again, if I don't meet gauge, I may just go up a size if mine's gonna be a little tight because I am a tight knitter. But yeah, I'll get more into that later on. Anyway. So I bought this one, as well as I also bought this beautiful one. So this is also from Holsgarn. This is their super soft, so same as this yarn, but in the color Sweet Pea. So it's a beautiful mauvey pink. So it's very soft pink. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. But it's kind of a softy kind of pink, but it also has like almost like a lilac purple in there. There's some kind of like beige and little red flecks every now and then that are beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And oh my gosh, some yellows. It's a beautiful skein, and it's not showing up very well at all. Like, it's about right, about in there. I absolutely love it. It is gorgeous. It's also 500 grams. With this beauty, I am making the Belmont cardigan, which I will hopefully put over here for you. Oh, I forgot which size it is. I want to say it's like the 39, either and a half or 39 and 3/4 size for myself. I'm knitting on it single-stranded because I made a, gauge swatch. And I got gauge with it. So I like to make my gauges just a bit bigger, so whenever I soak and block them, it's easier to put down my ruler and measure. So got gauge, so I was really happy with that. I don't have to double strand it, which means I will have a good amount of this cone left over, which with the leftover yarn, I want to try and make some scrunchies, I think, for my hair, because I love good scrunchie or maybe some bows. Things of that nature. Maybe pop it into other projects for color work. I don't know. I will have a good amount of this left over. So far, I have some of the ribbing done. It's kind of hard to see it right now in this lighting, but I think it's turning out really beautiful. And a lot of these gappy bits in the ribbing, I'm not too worried about, because once I soak and block this, it's gonna just bloom just like this one did. Like before I soaked and blocked this one, I could maybe kind of see between the stitches a little bit, but after it washed, just all came together. Just did big hugs, all these stitches. So there may be a little bit of variation in my tension, but a lot of that, the magic of blocking, my friends. It is wonderful. And I'm also knitting these. I had a lot of these. These are also the Knitter Pride size 4, and this is actually on their, they have these color cords. So there's like orange ones, and they have like little blue and yellow ones. So I got these, I actually have a whole set of these needles, and I have spare 4s because I use a lot of size 4s and lower for socks, and I do a lot of fingering weight projects. So lots of 4s, maybe up to a 7 is what I normally knit with. But again, I feel like a lot of gauge and needle preference depends on the person and whatever you're more comfortable knitting with. But this is going to be the Belmont cardigan. I am looking very forward to making some more progress on this. It has beautiful stockinette stitch and lace panels. Definitely give it a look-see on Ravelry, which I also have this project on there. Yeah, other than that, I was going to just share some of the not cardigans, some of the shawls that I spoke about last week. I'm not too sure exactly how many I have. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I have 7 shawls to show. Yeah, I won't go too in depth on them. I just kind of wanted to show them off. I don't know. It's just, I don't want this to be too long of an episode. And again, all of these you can find on my Ravelry. But yeah, let me just load this up real fast so I can at least read the pattern names off to y'all. So let's start with my first ever shawl, shall we? I think that would be kind of fun. So this will be kind of like the sit and chat with me section. I just thought this would be kind of fun to sit and talk about, other than myself. I'd rather just talk about my knitting. But anyway, this was the first ever shawl that I made. I don't know what struck me to make this. I just thought it was really interesting. This is called the Bradway shawl. It is by Shannon Cook. And I made it out of Cascade 220 yarn. But it's just a triangle shawl. And it was my first ever shawl. I absolutely love it. There are beautiful textures in here. And the Cascade 220 I feel like is so soft. And it has a beautiful wingspan. Like I normally just wear my shawls just kind of thrown around I'll just kind of pucker it up around my face. And I know in Washington there's been a couple times I've been out on the boat on the ocean and it's cold. And so I would do this with it inside my coat that I would wear. I think I have a couple of pictures on Instagram of me wearing it like that, but it works. It's a beautiful shawl. I would honestly love to make this again. I think I actually did make one for my sister. Hers were more like, I think I used the same kind of beigey gray because it's a heather beigey gray here, and then I used like a dark forest green and a mocha brown. It was beautiful. I don't know if she has that still. If not, Lauren. I know that she watches this, so hopefully you still have it. If not, you know. If you know, you know, right? So there's my first ever shawl. My second shawl that I made, absolutely love this one. This is probably my second or third most worn shawl. So there's 3 of these that I wear all the time. So this next one, and if you're wondering what I'm looking down at, I'm looking down at my laptop right now. So I'm on my Ravelry page right now looking back at my project so I can remember exactly, because these are from years ago. Like literally that Bradway shawl, I made that in 2016. I'm not going to be able to remember exactly what colors I chose or anything without looking at this. I absolutely adore Ravelry for this. Able to look back and see. Sorry, Lily just took off running down that way. So my second made shawl for myself, I should say, because there were 2 other shawls that I have made. I made the Sunwalker shawl by Melanie Berg. Made it out of the Mountain Colors Barefoot color in the choke cherry, and that was actually a gift that I made for, at the time, my boyfriend's mother. So not my fiance, this was way back when. And yeah, so I made that for her. She was a dear friend of mine. I know that she wears it, and I made that for her because her family, her parents actually owned an inn called the Choke Cherry Inn, and I thought it was so fitting, and so I made that shawl for her in that color. I thought it was beautiful. And then I made another shawl. It's the Hitchhiker shawl by Martina Behm. I don't know how to pronounce her name. I'm so sorry. I will put all of these things down below in the description and hopefully post photos up over here of what the projects actually look like. But yeah, I made the Hitchhiker shawl for my mom, and I don't know if she has the shawl anymore, but I made it out of the Juniper Moon, or the Juniper Moon Farm Zoe. Let me look. Yeah, Juniper Moon Farm Zoe, and I made it out of the, what did it say? Hazy lilac, so it's a purple color. I don't know what she's done with that, if she has it or uses it. I know my mom's not a huge shawl wearer, but I thought it being more of a cotton based yarn, it may be something a little bit more her style, since she gets warm very easily. She does not like a lot of like super heavy wools around her neck. She doesn't like it, so I thought maybe, but who knows. If not, I enjoyed making it. It's probably in her storage unit. But anyway, the second shawl that I made for myself was the Solaris shawl by Melanie Berg. Where's that beauty at? Oh my gosh, I loved this shawl. Oh my goodness, I made this, the main color is out of Madeline Tosh BFL Sock. And then all of the colors that are used in this, I used the Madeline Tosh Unicorn Tails. So So I will actually unknot this. There may be a little bit of a crinkle on one side because I normally have it knotted. But yeah, here we go. This beauty, I absolutely love it. I have gotten so many compliments on this shawl, and I don't even know if it's showing up on this camera because it is so big it blinds my view from it. But yeah, this is where I normally have it knotted. But this shawl is just absolutely beautiful. At the time, I was a receptionist at a pool and fitness center. So that's what I was doing before I moved here to North Dakota. And I would work on a lot of knitting projects at the front desk there during my slower times. And we had an older demographic, so I had senior citizens coming through, and they always enjoyed looking at what I was making. But I've gotten so many compliments on this. I love the eyelets in there. I love the detail here. I don't know if you can really see that. Maybe if I flip it this way. There's these beautiful little arches here. I absolutely love this shawl. But I just wrap it around that way. I kind of give it a little zhuzh around. This is a big shawl, y'all. Like, literally, I have a ton of tail over here. I just wrap it around. Something kind of like that. Normally have like the corner going off the shoulder, or I zhuzh it this way. Just depends on what mood I'm in. But yeah, you can even wrap this around again if you wanted. This is a big shawl. Huge, but it is beautiful. I've gotten so many compliments on this just from the colors. And I know that on her project page, there are so many different colors that people have chosen for this. I think are just beautiful. Oh my gosh. Highly recommend this pattern. It is absolutely beautiful. I enjoyed working on it. If you want to know exactly the yardage I use, whatever, all of that is on the Ravelry. So go and check it out. Her patterns for shawls are just gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. I love this one. So this is one of my most worn shawls. This is the this is the one I wear mostly when I think it's like not necessarily warm, like hot, but not cold either. Like, it's kind of that nice spring transitional weather piece because of these eyelets and the sock yarn, which I love a good BFL sock yarn. Love it. I love some blue-faced luster. Anyway, this is that. And all the color names are also on my Ravelry page for this project. I'm not going to sit here and scroll down and read every single one. But yeah, give that a look-see. Let's see, what's my next one? Okay, so the Corrugated Shawl by, oh goodness, my eyesight, by Cecelia. I'm gonna butcher that. I will put it here on the screen as well with all the other things. Oh, I forgot where I got this pattern. I want to say it was in a little book that I got from the local yarn shop in Mount Vernon, Washington, where it was pretty close to where I lived. And it was a very cool little book. But the shawl pattern was in there, and it was very interesting to make. And I made this out of Noro Sonata. And it is, I believe, 100% cotton. Let me look real fast. Does it say? Okay, so it is 35% cotton. So the shawl here, I'll actually show the shawl real fast. It is a long shawl and has these beautiful different patterns throughout it. And it's all different stitches of texture. So just all this shawl is knit and purls. So if you're looking for something that you're trying to learn, maybe different textures that you would like to use in other projects or what have you, definitely give this a look-see. It is a beautiful shawl, and I'm telling you, this thing is long. This took me a while, and it was worked in the flat, so the entire time you're going like this. This is what you're working with, going back and forth on it. So I will go ahead and put this on, and this thing wraps a million times as well. And I normally go for like, I don't know, I kind of just wrap some, I take it and I just kind of weave it through all my different little layers there. And then with this one, I tend to take it and I just kind of throw it over my shoulder because I normally wear it with coats. So with this one, it is 35% cotton, 25% manufactured fibers like rayon and viscose it has. Also 20% silk, and it has some nylon and polyamide in it. So I did misspeak, and it is not 100% cotton, but it does have a lot of cotton in it. Now I have to try and untangle myself. But yeah, this is a very long one. It's beautiful. I just whipped my face with my hair. There, we did it again. Oh. Anyway, it's a very beautiful, I would say like it's almost like a stole, more than like a shawl. But you can wear it so many ways. It's so versatile. Like literally, if you fold it in half, you can wrap it around this way. And you can just cinch it in. So make a little slip knot out of it. And then from there, you can wrap it around again. Take this side, wrap it around that way. Snuggle it up like this. So you can bundle it up however you want. You can even drape it over your shoulders if you want to. This one is great for spring and summer because of that cotton content in it. I like to wear it with some dresses that are tank tops, and for that I tend to just kind of wrap it around my shoulders, kind of like this, and I'll wrap it around a couple of times. But yeah, beautiful yarn. My fiance actually has bought some of this Noro Sonata in, I want to say like a turquoise blue, I don't know the actual color name offhand, and a brown, and he actually made himself a couple of hats. So that is another bonus, is my fiance knows how to knit. So, you know, gotta find yourself a partner that knits, because then y'all are gonna be in happiness because you'll support each other's yarn habits. Okay. So if I go back, after that, I ended up falling completely in love with the Nightshift by Andrea Mowry, which I love her patterns anyway, but oh my gosh, this shawl is just too much. I loved it. And the colors I picked, I ended up using 2 skeins of Noro Aito. Yeah, 2 skeins of Noro Aito. And oh, I do not remember the colorway names offhand. I will try and find them though and update my Ravelry page on that. But anyway, I will show them. So, this is my second most worn shawl, by the way. And look at this beauty. Oh my gosh. Y'all, these colors just, oh my God. They just speak to me on so many levels. I cannot get enough. I'm telling y'all, I actually wore this yesterday. An old coworker of mine, actually, from Washington, was in town in Bismarck, North Dakota. Like, who comes here? Really? But it is a beautiful city in its own way. Anyway, so she was here visiting a college friend of hers that is going to the University of Mary here in town. Anyway, so me and my fiance went over and had coffee with her sister, and her college friend. Anyway, so I wore this yesterday. It is beautiful, and I normally wear it like this. I sadly ran out of yarn, so I couldn't make it quite as long as I wanted it to, because I was going to just put in some extra sections, because I wanted a big shawl. Y'all. But Anyway, it still fits, but I just kind of put it over. I tend to go like at an angle with it, and I just get under here and I literally just tie like a little boop and then I throw it back on top, and I tend to put it like on my shoulder like Katniss. Or I zhuzh it around. And this one is another good one. If you're outside like here, we get a lot of blowing like ice, like sleet here. So like rain ice mix, freezing rain, other names for it I can't think of, but anyway, it is nasty. And so I like to go like this with a lot of my woolens just to cover my face. And normally I have a hat on, so all you can see are my eyes. But anyway, it keeps you nice and warm. Again, I cannot remember the exact color names out of this, but it was 2 skeins of the Noro Aito. I think that if I had a different, like, I did not gauge for this. This is one where I didn't gauge. All my other things I do, but I didn't gauge for this. So it's my own fault for the wingspan not being quite as large as I would want it. And I'm 5, I would say 5'6". But yeah, that's about my wingspan there, which I would have liked it just a little bit longer. But I can't complain when it's my own fault for not gauging. And also for making this seam right here really, like, it is tight. There's no give to it, where on this side it's very stretchy. You can see that, the stretch in there, where this side I blocked it as hard as I could. There is no give on that side, and that's my own fault. But I love this yarn. I love Noro. I actually have a blanket that I normally post up on my couch made out of Noro Kurion. Absolutely love it, which I actually have the book on that too. So the Noro Timeless, the Timeless Noro knit blanket. Sorry, I'm trying to read it through the camera and it's like backwards. I don't know why I'm doing that. I'm not that talented. But Timeless Noro knit blankets. Give this a look-see. Oh my gosh. This has beautiful patterns in it. There's some pictures on the back. But yeah, the one on the cover, that's the one I made. The one that I finished had the attached little tassels that you see here with like a little pom-pom going on. My cats disagreed with that feature, and let's just say that they are no longer on the blanket. But it does live on my couch, and it is beautiful, and pictures of that are also on my Ravelry. Anyway, so there's the Nightshift shawl, which that's the back, which if you're interested in looking at the back. But this is another one I've gotten many compliments on. I feel like it is beautifully muted colors, because I'm not one that wears a ton of bright colors. Like, I do wear some pinks, and it's kind of contradictory because there is a shawl I'm going to show that is very brightly colored. But I feel like this is very me. Oh, there's Lily. Lily is also gracing us with her presence today. Her little belly hair is growing back. It's getting so long. Watch her be bad and knock something off. Come here, Pee-wee. Oh, go on. Knocking down a picture. Okay. Oh, she's comfy now. She's snuggled up. So, yeah, go on. Oh, she is a kitten. Let's just say she is a kitten. I forgot where I was. But anyway, oh, muted colors. I love muted colors. I feel like if you are a neutral type of person, like you like your neutrals, I like neutrals all day long, but you want to experiment with some color, look at some Noro. Noro has beautiful muted colors, and honestly the way that they produce their yarn is magnificent. Absolutely magnificent. Okay, let's see which one's next, shall we? The next one, okay, is the Aito shawl by Melanie Hoffman. I don't know if I ever pronounced that right. So this baby is out of Plutolopi. She is big, and she is my first most worn shawl. I wear this baby all the time. She was a labor of love, but so worth it. So worth it, y'all. Oh my goodness. Even if you've tried knitting this and have lost steam, given up, please try and just finish it. And you know, if at the end of the day you just absolutely don't like it, I get it. We all have our loves and hates in life, but this shawl is the snuggliest, just beautiful sheepy wool I've ever seen. Like, she's so big I have to get up. Like, oh my goodness. I love this shawl, y'all. Like, literally, you could wrap this fully around yourself. Like, I normally kind of twist it up, but you can wrap this shawl all the way around you. Like a big hug. It's like a big blanket shawl. It's beautiful. And I love the lace work in this shawl. I love it. And I honestly wouldn't mind making this again in more, like maybe add a deep red if Plutolopi has like kind of a burgundy red. I love a good burgundy red. Reminds me of wine. Give me a nice Malbec any day. I'll be a happy woman. But yeah. Beautiful shawl. Absolutely love it. Luna adores this shawl too, and I have to be so careful with this shawl. I have to literally fold it up and put it away and keep her away from it because she will chew through it. Like, she loves this yarn. She's like her mama. She likes a good sheepy smelling yarn, except I try not to eat it where she will. Anyway, sorry. Lily is deciding to play right now. Look at this little girl. You are so silly. Yes. Go play with your sissy. There we go. Okay. Almost done, I promise. If you've made it this far, congratulations. If I had participation ribbons, I would totally give them out. But unfortunately, I don't have any. So hopefully you just take my word, knowing how honored I am that you are still here. Thank you. So next shawl is going to be my Plumpy shawl. So this is the one I was telling you about, the very colorful one. The meaning behind this, though, holds a special place in my heart because, like I mentioned last episode, I'm a huge lover of... There goes Lily again running away. As I mentioned last week's episode, I love the Studio Ghibli movies. And one of my favorite ones, all-time favorite, is Howl's Moving Castle, but I also love Ponyo. I love Ponyo. And I found out that La Bien-Aimée, she has, some patterns actually, or not patterns, but yarns dyed specifically for some of these movies because she enjoys them as well. So I saw this one that was called Ponyo and Sosuke, and I had to buy the set. So this is the Plumpy shawl by Andrea Mowry. It's probably one of my smaller shawls. This is probably the smallest one I've made. But it is very bright. It is very colorful. I normally... I can't remember a time I actually used a blue color before. But the blue I remember is Rainbow on a Vespa. This peachy color is actually the Ponyo and Sosuke. And this white color, I want to say, is like confetti cake. So the Ponyo and Sosuke and the cake one, yeah, confetti cake, are very similar. So when blending them, like here in the brioche part, they're very similar. But I kind of like that low contrast, especially since I don't do a lot of color work. But this blue, it is so pretty with that confetti cake. It reminds me of funfetti cake, actually, here in America that you can buy at the store in a box and put it together. But yeah, this is my Plumpy shawl. I just kind of wrap her one way. Whoops. Ha! and wrap her again and zhuzh her a bit. So it's one of my more smaller shawls. Again, this is lighter weight, so I tend to wear it on warmer days. I actually just posted a picture on Instagram of me wearing this with my Felix pullover. But yeah, most of the time I just kind of wear it around my shoulders. That's where I feel most comfortable with it. But yeah, it's a beautiful shawl. Definitely give it a go. Then my last one and my most recent finished shawl is the quill shawl. This one's by Jared Flood, and I got the inspiration for this one from Kristen of the Woolen Vine. And I actually, a lot of things I've made have been, I don't want to say like in awe of what she's made, but so many things that she's picked out, just the colors are spot on. They touch my soul. It's like, I love these colors that she chose, and then it gives me inspiration to make the same thing. So anyway, this is my quill by Jared Flood. It's actually a big square. Yeah, isn't she pretty? Yeah, there's a crease in it because I always wear it as a triangle. And I've actually had this folded up for a while. But oh my gosh. The pattern on this is gorgeous. The lacy bits and the border are just to die. And I made the smaller one. Mostly because I knew with something like this, I would lose steam on something really big, and it'd be kind of like the half and half. I should have known, but I mean, half and half is gonna be one of those mindless TV knits for me. But with big shawls, I lose steam. So something like this is definitely doable. And it's beautiful, and I haven't even gotten to wear her that much because by the time I finished her, it was already so warm that I had to transition to my more woolier ones. But yeah, there she is. I tend to wear them just off to the side, maybe here, you know, with the tail. It's also a smaller shawl for me because I made the smaller one. And because I have so many big shawls, like literally that one, the Aito one. It's like, that's a huge one. So it's kind of nice to mix it up. This one will be really nice with dresses, also to be worn around my shoulders, just as something, whoops. If my fingers actually want to work today, that'd be great. And just kind of wrap it around, maybe get like a little shawl pin. It'll look beautiful. Anyway, those are all of my shawls. Other than that, I think that'll be it for today. I think with this channel, I'm probably going to be posting every other week. I don't think I knit quite fast enough to be able to give good content, I would say, weekly. So last week was definitely like a, oh, hey, how are you? Like Jack in the Box, pop out, say, hey, what's up? Today is going to be more like what you're gonna see on this channel whenever I pop on. So yeah, I will hopefully be getting this posted within the next day or two after I get done editing it. But yeah, whenever I get that posted, look forward to seeing me in a every other week format. There we go. In every other week format. That is when you can look forward to seeing me. So if you would like, definitely subscribe. If you enjoyed this content, give me a like down below. Yeah, and then you'll be able to know whenever my next video comes out by doing those things. But yeah, have a wonderful day. Yeah, keep knitting, happy knitting. Yeah, that's all I can think of. Thank you for showing up today. I appreciate it.